Felicity back again from Hit Kits using the September kit from 2017. Now I am using here the colour kit. I love the colour kit. Every single month I get giddy because I love mixed media. So I'm using the star stencil first and I layer down the 3 different colours. So first I use the Caribbean sunset, then I go in and use the Tuscan sun, and then I use the ruby. Now, when I actually apply look how pretty it is. When I actually applied the sprays to the stencil, you can see that I did it from far and I did it from close. The reason why I did that was because it allowed some of the sprays to be more predominant, so brighter, and the others, lighter and fade away to give it a little bit more dimension. So you can try that. Now you also will see that I didn't cover up the edges of my stencil. You can put paper around the stencil so that then you don't have that hard square look. Me being me, I don't worry about things like that. And to be honest, I was pretty stoked because when I actually sprayed the stencil, and then here I am just layering in to get a bit of an idea of what direction my page is going to go, I actually looked at those squares and I was like, hold on a minute, if I actually machine stitch around those in a white or a silver, how awesome would the background look? So that's what I did. Got the sewing machine and I stitched it off camera, and it looks really, really pretty. So there it is. It's in no order, and I just followed some of the faint lines. I didn't do all of them. I just followed them really, really faintly. So that was really, really simple. So when it comes to anything to do with mixed media, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just do something simple, because all mixed media means is that it's some sort of wet medium on the background. You could, I wouldn't say you're supposed to, but you can actually layer down a coat of gesso. You can have just a thin coat if you want to, but I generally do, sometimes I don't. In this case, I didn't. The difference, I guess, between putting a gesso background down first as to not, is that what happens is the gesso will actually kind of like primes the paper. So when you put your sprays down, it's going to sit on top of the paper, on top of the gesso. If you don't gesso, like I did here, I didn't, the paint seeps straight away into the paper. So you can't really soak up too much paint. So if you've got too much down and you had a gesso background, you can bring your paper towel in and put it over the top and it will release some of the paint if you didn't want as much paint. I hope you can follow me there. So another advantage too of having a gesso background is the fact that your page won't warp as much, because here you can see I've actually got the little shimmers on the corner and the bowl holding it, because my page did warp a little bit, and I wasn't worried because I always back my pages on a piece of cardstock or some sort of 12 by 12 inch, kind of like in some ways like a scrap paper, a paper that I think, I probably won't use too much of that or whatever, just because my pages can get quite heavy. So all I simply did was just back it, and then it didn't, obviously it takes away the warping. So there's pros and cons, I guess, to a gessoed background, but it's just all in the experiment. And this time, to be honest, I actually started and I was like, I was going to gesso that and just forgot. And I don't worry about things like that. I just go with it, because when those sorts of mistakes happen, it's generally happy mistakes. And I can see here it was a happy mistake, because if I had the gesso down, I probably could have wiped away those lines from the stencil. But as I said, I kind of like it now. It just adds to the background of it. So then as you've probably been watching, I then just layer in a ton of embellishments. Like this page is pretty much full of the color kit and embellishments. And I kind of like that because I love layering, and I just love tucking bits and pieces in, which you can see that's what I did here. I just tucked, I went, I like that, will it fit, does it look right? And I just kept going and going and going. And it was fun. And it was really good too, because you've got a mixture of the the paper ephemera from Turn the Page. Then you've got the wooden veneer. Then you've got chipboard. And then you also have puffy stickers as well. So you've got a really, really nice mixture of texture there. And I think, you know, and you've got the felt bow too. So you've got many different textures. So I think perhaps that's why I love this page completely, because there is so much texture to it. So I'm pretty wrapped. And then of course I grabbed these stamps which are from the embellishment kit, and I just stamped a couple of the leaves underneath just to add a little bit of depth, and a couple of the hearts just really lightly. Like, I seriously didn't put much ink on my stamp because I didn't want it to be black, because it would have just been too dark for me, for my liking anyway. So yeah, and then I just finish off with a little bit of hand stitching up the top there on that paper strip, but that's about it. So I hope you've enjoyed it and encourages you to have a go at mixed media. I'll leave a link to Hip Kits and my blog in the comments. See you in my next video.